How's it going, rednecks? We're here again at Shop PN with the Oldsmobile. Now we got Tyler and the captain down there working on his gambler van. And today I am going to be trying to mount this 5,000-pound winch from Harbor Freight, as well as possibly utilize this plate from Harbor Freight for a winch mount on the front of my Oldsmobile. All right, first things first, let's get this all unboxed and see what we're dealing with. Well, rednecks, never having installed a winch before, this is going to come in a lot of use. But at first glances, I can already tell this bracket is not going to work. The rollers on this, if you look, are quite a bit smaller than the mounting points for whatever they had that intended for. So I'm guessing that's for the like 9,000 or the 12,000 pound winch. I only got a little 5,000 pound winch, so we're going to have to try and utilize this little guy right here. And yeah, I guess it's time to see how it fits underneath the Oldsmobile and then start pulling the front bumper. Oh, that's gonna be beautiful. Dude, look how tight that fits. Next, with the bumper cut out and all trimmed out, what I'm going to end up doing is putting a spacer on each bolt, because there's a rise in the plastic here. There's steel right behind there. There's two layers here, so it goes plastic, then your steel. And then we're going to set this thing in there, and I'm going to upgrade the bolts, because the bolts before, or the bolts that they use, are right here. So I'm going to have to drill out that. I'm going to have to drill out that and drill out my other hole on the other side of the bumper. And then that secures this thing pretty firmly to the bumper. Eventually I'm going to have to build brackets coming off the bottom of this and tying into my bumper plates right here. There's bumper plates on the back. That's where that comes through. I got some square stock right here I can tie into, so I'll just have to figure out how to tie all that in later. But most importantly, I want to get this thing mounted on here, put the bumper back on, and then start wiring it. So let's get to it. Alright, rednecks, I had to take that thing entirely back apart, get longer screws, and put it back together. But it's all put back together. Now I gotta throw the bumper on the car. That's the exciting part. I'll show you a neat feature of this bumper here in a second, but let's get that thing on the car. Alright, rednecks, we got the winch all mounted in here, and I tell you what, it's pretty tight up against the front of the body. I can't fit these fog lights in, which is kind of a blessing in disguise, because my hand fits inside here, and right on the inside, let me grab my flashlight here, that right there is how you click it from lock to free, so you can spool the wire in and out. So that's kind of convenient that I can just reach right on in there and change that. So that's kind of the cool feature. And then on the other side here, if you take a look, that is my wiring. So unfortunately, I'm going to be stuck having to do something here because the motor for this winch is too tight up against here to fit the fog light. I've already tried test fitting it. It won't work. Even if I hog a bunch out, still won't fit. So with that being said, let's start wiring this up. Let's see what kind of wires we got to run from where, and get this thing working, because I definitely want to see this thing done by the end of the day. All right, next, after looking the instructions over, you're supposed to use these red and black cables to go to the relay, and then from the relay, you use the blue and yellow cable to go to the winch. Well, I'm not going to do that because the blue and yellow cable are too short, because I want to mount my relay right there, and obviously I got ground and power right there, so I'm going to be really close. So I'll just use the blue and yellow to loop from power to that, and then go from there down to the winch using the red and black cable here. And then I have a winch controller, and this is the plug-in. That all plugs into here, as well as an interior in and out button for the winch. So I'll have to route all that to the inside and then mount the other one. Like I said, I want to make a plate for right there for the winch controller to plug into. But that'll come later. I want to get this thing powered up, so let's get that relay bolted up, and then let's start running our power wires. Alright, next, I didn't record a lot of this, but I am definitely not doing what the instructions offered. What I am doing is coming right from my battery positive, and then I'm going to feed this right into the relay, because I don't like the fact that this could flop around. What they say in the instructions is to run this and then run a cable off of the other end to the relay, but as you can see, I can get that on one of the studs, so I'm just going to do that, and that offers less chance of this hitting ground. These two cables run down to my winch. I have those all routed through here. They come out through this opening, so I got to wire them in. And then I have my ground that just goes right down, and it shares the block ground right here. So this is from the battery. That's the ground to my relay, so I'll have to have all that put on. And then I put my controller wires. I ran all those with the power and ground wires here, and that comes out right out front here. So I got to make a plate for that yet, but so let's get this guy all hooked up. I'll be able to run all these wires, get all these wires hooked up, and tidy this up. Alright, rednecks, I have not tested this yet, but the relay's all wired in. I plugged the controller in, and we're going to give her a try, see if it works. Here we go. Oh, I'm going to need somebody to pull on this. Who could I possibly get? Alright, we're going to go out. Alright, we'll try in. That works. Now we get to try, this will be the interior one. Out. Uh-oh. Oh! That's right, this needs power to this wire, so I'll have to power this once I get this in the cab, but we know it's correct. Out is out, and is in. Boom. Heck yeah. So now I gotta route that wire to the interior, and we'll be done with this thing. Well, I guess I still need to make a cover for that thing, so we'll make that yet, but I wanna get the wire into the interior, make sure everything works, so let's get that wire routed. Well, there we go, rednecks. Got the relay all done, all the wiring done. I zip tied everything up. Need to cut the zip ties yet, just kind of tightening it all up. And then I happen to have a power source that was key on power. You guys haven't seen it yet, but I installed a CB radio on this, and the power for the CB radio was coming right out of this fuse right here. I can't remember what the fuse was, so I just tied my power to my winch into that. And now, when I turn the key on, and I hit the switch, the relay works, or the winch works. So got everything powered. Now what we're gonna do is I actually have a spare bumper, a spare Jeep bumper. We're gonna take and make a plate for right here that this guy right here will plug into, or bolt onto. So that way I will be able to plug my controller right here into that thing and run the winch externally, and then we'll leave that hole open so you can reach in and pop the winch into neutral or put it into gear. So yeah, eventually this bumper right here is going to be going on the car because it is dent free. This guy's got a pretty big hit in the side of it, but for right now this was a good mock-up bumper. So we're going to make that plate. I guess let's get to it. All right, rednecks, as you've seen, I was trying to cut a plate out for the switch here, and I didn't like how it looked. So what I'm gonna do is when I go to change this bumper out, I'm gonna install this fog light. And what it's hitting is right inside of there, that's the wire to the motor. The fog light's hitting that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hog out what it's hitting, and I'm gonna actually mount that switch right in the front of this lens, and I think that'll be kind of a funny thing to do. So when I get that done, I will post a picture. I imagine by the time this video gets out, it'll be done. So this is what it looks like right here. All in all, I think a 5,000 pound winch will do good with this car, and I'm gonna be happy I have it, I'm sure. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Comment, like, share, subscribe, and get back to work. Have at it.
I know it's a game, I'm not gonna play, but maybe you should do whatever you need to erase me. It's all just a game. You think I'm gonna play, but maybe you should do whatever.
There, now it's out of the way.
Oh, Jesus. Is this what we're doing?
You don't understand us.
Apparently not!
Walk away while you're at it.
Yes, you might want to walk away.
4 inches?
Oh, that's nothing.
That's something.
I know, it's not gonna clear. We need another spacer. Also, let's
Watch.
Here, I'll spin it up. You gotta look at this. This is not straight.
Yeah, you're gonna need a lot more spacers.
Yeah, one more.
Oh, Jesus Christ, there's 4 of them on there.
No, there's not.
Yeah, there is.
Should we just put both of them? The same measure?
Yeah.
Well, not gonna work.
Go get one of his.
Steelies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go get a Steely. I'm gonna put all these back on for him.
Thanks, Brian. You're such a good guy.
I think we got to put one of his Steelies on backwards. Yeah, flip it around. Yeah.
You guys want them?
20 bucks.
It's been so nice.
Oh, you got tons of room. You could probably even take one of those spacers off.
Nope. Not an option. Yeah, this is gonna hobble a bit because I can't get that thing on right.
That's fine. You ready?
Because I can't kind of hold on. Let me do the camera walk around.
This is like double violation. Tons of spacers and a rim on with no taper.
Here you go. Take it easy.
I'm trying. Look at him pushing the tire out.